They cannot sleep at night because of you. Not because they are angry, not because they moved on, not because the separation produced the relief that distance sometimes brings when a connection was wrong for someone. Because every time they close their eyes, in the specific quiet of the night, when there is nothing left to distract them from what is true, your face shows up. And it does not leave. They have tried to make it leave. They have tried the things that people try. They have stayed busy. They have filled the days with enough activity that the space where you live in their thoughts stays crowded with other things. They have told themselves the story that most people tell themselves when they are trying to move past something, that enough time will create enough distance, that eventually the feeling will become manageable, that the specific ache of your absence will fade into something more like memory and less like presence. But it has not faded. During the day, they look normal. They go through the routine. They show up for the obligations. They respond when people speak to them. They participate in the social texture of life in a way that reads from the outside as someone who is fine. But you are still there. A song comes on, and something in the melody maps onto a memory of you so precisely that they have to stop for a moment. Just stop and hold it. A location they pass carries you in its atmosphere. Something about the light or the smell or the specific way the space is configured that connects to a moment that involved you. A phrase someone says in conversation sounds like something you would say. And suddenly, in the middle of an ordinary moment, you are back, as present as if you were standing in the room. And at night is when it becomes something beyond manageable. When the day is over and the busyness stops and there is nothing left between them and what is true, you are the first thing that surfaces. In the space between waking and sleeping, where the things we manage during the day stop being manageable, you are there. Your face, the specific version of you that lives in the deepest part of their memory, not a faded image, a vivid one, alive, present, real in a way that makes the separation feel like the thing that is not real. And they wake up carrying you every morning into a day where you are not there. That is where your person is right now, and what I am about to show you in this message is going to permanently change how you interpret the silence that has been the most confusing and most painful part of this season. Because the silence is not what it looks like from the outside. The silence is not indifference. The silence is not evidence that what you felt was one-sided. The silence is the behavior of a person who is haunted, actively, persistently, nightly haunted by a love that refuses to become past tense no matter how much time passes or how much distance accumulates. Their love for you is haunting them, and God is using the haunting. That is the word, and by the time this message is complete, you are going to understand not just that this is happening, but what it is producing in them, where it is leading, and what the haunting is moving them toward. Stay with me all the way through, because the most important thing in this word is not in the first section. It is building, and you need everything that comes before to receive everything that comes at the end with the full weight it deserves. Now, let me go deeper into what the haunting actually looks like from inside your person's experience, because I think some of you have been in this season long enough that the standing has started to cost you something real. Not your faith in God in the general sense, but your faith in this situation specifically. You have watched enough time pass that a part of you, the part you wouldn't say out loud in public, has started to whisper a question you're afraid to fully ask. Not whether the promise was real. You know it was real. The question is quieter and more painful than that. The question is, why is it taking this long? And underneath that question, there is sometimes another one. Have I been reading this correctly? Was the knowing I had actually God's voice, or was it something I constructed out of the strength of my own longing? Because if it was God, why does it still look like this? I want to sit in that question with you for a moment, rather than rushing past it, because the rushing past it is what most messages do. They move quickly from the acknowledgement of the discouragement to the encouragement, and in the speed of that transition, they don't fully honor the realness of what the discouragement actually feels like from inside it. So let me just say this first. It makes complete sense that you're discouraged. The length of this weight is real. The accumulation of the silence is real. The specific loneliness of carrying this promise with this few people who fully understand the weight of it, that's real. You are not spiritually weak for feeling cast down in this season. You are human, and you are in a season that would produce discouragement in anyone who is genuinely invested in the outcome. The Psalm says it, "Why are you cast down, O my soul?" And the asking of the question is itself the validation. The psalmist is not rebuking the cast downness. He is naming it. He is acknowledging that the soul is genuinely down, that the disquiet is genuine, that the weight is real. And then, only after naming it, he offers the anchor.
Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him. The yet word is the most important word in that verse for where you are right now. Not I am currently praising him because everything is resolved. Not I have praised him because the promise materialized. Yet. Future certainty stated from a present position of cast downness. The yet is the faith position. It is the declaration that the praise is coming, not because the circumstances justify it in this moment, but because the God who gave the promise is the kind of God who brings things to their appointed completion. And that completion has an appointment on his calendar, an appointment that was set before the separation began, that was set actually before you even understood what the promise was. He knew when he first placed this knowing in your spirit exactly when it would materialize. The date did not change when the circumstances got complicated. The appointment did not shift when the silence grew longer. There has always been a specific God-appointed, God-held time at which this promise reaches its fullness. That time is approaching, and the haunting is the evidence that the approach is real. Now I want to go a layer deeper into what God showed me about the specific obstacle that is currently standing between your person and the action that would bring them back to you. Because understanding this obstacle is what changes how you pray. And how you pray in this final stage of the waiting is more important than at any other point in the season. Your person is not staying away because the love has diminished. You have already heard enough today to understand that the love has not diminished at all. It is alive, and it is haunting them, and it is building its case from the inside every night. Your person is staying away because of a belief the enemy has been carefully constructing in their thought life. The belief that it is too late. And I want to be specific about how this belief operates because the specificity is where the prayer strategy comes from. The enemy has been feeding your person a very particular narrative. It sounds something like this. You waited too long. You missed your moment. They have moved on. Look at them. Look at how they're living. Look at how they're functioning. Look at how the life they are building seems to be moving forward without any visible space in it for you. The door that was once open is closed now. And even if it is not completely closed, they have every right to close it. You cannot reasonably expect them to still be waiting after everything that happened, after everything you did, after all this time. And for someone who is already drowning in the specific guilt of knowing that their choices contributed to the separation, for someone who lies awake at night carrying the weight of what they haven't done and said and shown up for, that narrative lands. It lands with the convincing force of something that feels like truth because it is built on real facts, even though the conclusion it draws from those facts is completely wrong. The facts are real. The time has been long. The silence has accumulated. Things did happen. Choices were made that created distance. But the conclusion that the door is closed, that it is too late, that the love on your end has resolved into something that no longer has room for them, that's the enemy's editorial on the facts.
That's the angle from which he has been presenting the information. And he's been doing it with enough consistency and enough strategic timing that your person has partially believed it, which is why they haven't come back yet. Not because the love is insufficient, because the courage is being undermined by a lie that has been given enough time to calcify into something that feels like truth. And this is where your prayer changes. Stop praying only for the return. Start praying specifically against the lie. Pray that God dismantles the enemy's narrative in your person's thought life. Pray for the specific moment of clarity where the lie that says it is too late is replaced by the truth that the door is still open. Pray for the specific courage that requires, the kind that crosses distance and vulnerability and the risk of rejection to show up anyway because the love is too real to leave unaddressed. Pray for the clarity. Pray for the courage. Pray for the specific moment when the haunting stops being something they're trying to manage and becomes something they're ready to act on. Because that moment is coming. And the specific pressure of the nightly haunting, the accumulating cost of the sleepless nights and the unwanted reminders and the face that will not leave even when they ask it to, is building toward that moment from the inside. God is using the haunting to do what your prayers are doing from the outside. He is working both ends of this simultaneously. His strategy and your prayer are moving toward the same point of convergence, and the convergence is closer than the silence suggests. Now I want to bring you to something I want you to do differently starting today, because this is the practical instruction that I believe is the most immediately important thing in this entire word. Start speaking to the open door. What I mean by that is this. In your prayers, in the private, specific, and honest prayers that you pray when no one is watching, stop praying from the position of someone who is hoping something might happen. Start praying from the position of someone who knows the appointment exists and is asking God to prepare both people for it. There is a difference in the posture of those two prayers that the spirit world can sense, and there is a difference in what they produce in the person praying them. Prayers prayed from a posture of hope, biblical hope, the confident expectation of what God has promised, carry a different authority than prayers prayed from a posture of wishing. And the authority in the prayer matters for how it moves in the Spirit. You have been given a promise. You have been given enough confirmation across enough time to know that the knowing is real. You have been given a God whose character is the guarantee of His word. Pray from that position. Pray from the yes of the promise. Pray from the already settled nature of what God committed to, and let the prayer carry the authority of someone who is not requesting permission for something God has not decided, but is asking for the timing of something God has already declared. Pray with authority, and then trust the haunting to keep doing its work. Let me take you now to the final and most hope-filled declaration I want to leave you with today, because this is the thing I want you to carry from this message into every remaining day of the waiting. Something in you captured their soul. Not in the past tense of something that is over, in the present tense of something that is still active, still operating, still doing what a captured soul does, pulling toward the source of the capture, haunting the person it belongs to with the specific persistence of something that was designed to survive exactly this season of distance and silence and circumstances stacked against it. That capture is what is happening at night when they can't sleep. That capture is what surfaces in the unexpected reminders throughout the day. That capture is what fills the dream space between their sleeping and waking with your face, consistently, repeatedly, with a vividness that has not dimmed with the passage of time. And that capture is what is building the case inside them, night by night, reminder by reminder, dream by dream, to the action that is going to close this distance. Not maybe, not if the conditions align. The case is being built. The cost of suppression is rising. The moment when the cost of not coming back finally exceeds the cost of coming back is approaching with the specific inevitability of something that God Himself is engineering. Their love for you is haunting them, and God is using the haunting, and the haunting is going to bring them home.
Now I want to speak to one final thing before I close this word, and it's something for you specifically, not about them, but about what you need to be ready for when the haunting produces its natural conclusion and the door opens from their side. Be ready to receive the version of them that the haunting produced. Because the person who has been lying awake at night carrying your face in the dark, the person who has been accumulating the weight of what the separation cost them, is not going to arrive back to your door as the same version that left. The nightly reckoning that the haunting has been producing in them is doing interior work. It is producing the humility and the accountability and the specific self-awareness that the previous version of them was not fully operating in. It is producing the person who understands, in a way that only the specific education of loss can teach, what they had, what they walked away from, what the separation cost both of you, and what they are committed to not repeating.
The haunting is not just keeping the love alive. It is forming the person the love needs to come back in. Be ready for that person. Have the walls you built for the previous version start to yield for the version the haunting is producing. Not naively, not without the wisdom you have developed through your own formation in this waiting season, but with the specific openness of someone who prayed for change and is now being asked to recognize it when it arrives. Because it is arriving. Night by night, dream by dream, reminder by reminder. The haunting is doing its work. And when it is done enough, when the case it has been building finally produces the action it has been building toward, what crosses the distance between you and them is not going to be the person the silence suggested they were content to remain. It is going to be the person the sleepless nights and the unwanted reminders and the face that would not leave and the love that could not let go finally could not suppress any longer. They are coming. Not because the circumstances finally aligned perfectly, because the love was never going to let them stay away permanently, because something in you captured their soul. And what God captures, He does not release. He redirects it. He uses it. He builds it into the force that crosses every distance and dismantles every lie, and arrives at the door that the enemy spent this entire season trying to convince them was permanently closed. If this word found you at exactly the moment it was sent to find you, if something in your spirit has been recognizing itself in these words throughout this message, I want you to do one thing right now while that recognition is still alive. So